Welcome to another Teacher Tobin tutorial. This tutorial is introducing the ukulele to you. I'm going to talk about some very basics of the ukulele, some basic chords, tuning, and some little quirks of the ukulele, and some little buying guide tips. So, if you're thinking about buying a ukulele, do. It's light, it's portable, and more importantly, if you're a beginner, these nylon strings will not hurt your fingers. A steel string dreadnought guitar might look great, it sounds great, but it's a real beast to learn, and learners get put off by the end of their fingers actually really hurting. So you're never going to get that problem with the ukulele, and it will really help you develop your skills as a guitar player as well. So if you're a guitarist, buy a ukulele. All those chord inversions you're going to play on those first three strings will help you become a better guitarist. And similarly, if you start on a ukulele, a lot of those patterns and they're kind of going to, a lot of it's translatable to a guitar. A lot of what you learn here is translatable to a guitar. So they're a good accompaniment. It's an instrument in its own right. So if you're going to buy a ukulele, this is the top tip. Make sure you've got a saddle which is compensated. So each string has got a different notch. Even you can find expensive ukuleles with just one bar across. Ignore them. They might have the most beautiful wood and veneer and all the rest of it. If they've just got one bar across here, then it's not going to be compensated, and you're going to have problems with intonation. So make sure you get a compensated saddle. That's my single biggest woe about ukuleles. Also, make sure the action of a ukulele you buy is not too high, because there's no truss rod in it. You can't compensate it in any way if it's warped or if it's too concave. So do a little look down the instrument. Make sure it's not too concave. You want a bit of relief on it. The thing is, the 12th fret should sound about the same when you fret it. So with a ukulele, it's really difficult to get an instrument that's going to be properly intonated. So I'm just playing the harmonic on the 12th fret. If I fret it, it's slightly sharp, and that's going to cause some intonation problems, and that's a problem with short scale instruments. So anything you can do, like a compensated saddle, is going to help with that. Also, we use a 12-tone equal temperament system, and we've got parallel frets for each string, even though they're different string gauges and different tensions. So all of these problems are going to be compounded. So you're going to have some intonation problems. Now, what I do, this is the C string. The third string is the lowest note of a ukulele. That's the C string, and you've got the G, which is the last string. The first two, E and A. So sorry, you've got the first string would be A, E, C, G, A, E, C, G. Now, what I do, I'll tune to a tuner first. You'll maybe use a middle C of a piano, tune the C string, the thickest string, which is unusual for this instrument, is the third string. It's the thickest one and the lowest note. Tune that to C, tune all the others to a tuner. Now, because this instrument is kind of unique, it's actually in its own kind of tuning. If I played that, that's a C6 chord. So to make a C major scale, you have the first degree of the C major scale, the third degree, fifth degree. It's actually got the sixth degree in here as well. So you've got C from here. You've got C, D, E, third degree is E. You've got E, the E string, E, F, G. So that's the perfect fifth of C. We've got a G, that. And then if you've got C, D, E, F, G, A, so we've got we've got the A as well, with that first string. So that makes it a C6 chord when you're strumming it. It's 4 notes strumming C6. So a C chord is that. You're just modifying that first string. That's a C. That's first chord you're going to know. But because it's essentially it's in its own key, you want to be tempering the tuning slightly. So once you've tuned it to a tuner, what I do is slightly flatten this string, slightly flatten it, the A string. I slightly sharpen the C string, because you want the octave, the C octave, to sound about right. Because you're going to be playing chords most of it. Most of the time you're playing chords, so you want it to sound about right on the octave. If I do it here, it's quite sharp. It's quite sharp, and I know that sounds a bit odd here, but you can see if I'm playing it up here, it's pretty bang on. So it's if I'm just playing a C on its own, it sounds about right, even though this C string is slightly sharp. This one I slightly sharpen as well, the G string at the end. At the end I slightly sharpen that, because those two have got to kind of match together. So those are little tricks to make a ukulele actually sound better. Don't trust the tuner. Just same with the guitar. Don't always trust the tuner, because the tuner is going to give you what the equal temperament system says it's going to be. But if you're playing predominantly in the key of C, you're going to want to slightly change the tuning. Like, for example, on the guitar, if I'm playing in C and then I go to like the key of E mostly, I want to slightly flatten the G string. If you listen to Scar Tissue by Red Hot Chili Peppers, this is a song where Frusciante is actually detuned one of his strings slightly, because to avoid the beating sound you get with an equal temperament system. As a musician, you have to trust your ears. And with a short scale instrument like the ukulele, you want it to sound as sweet as possible. So in C. So do a lot of vibrato just to sort of ease the tuning a little bit. Otherwise, if you just play it too straight, it's going to sound a little bit wobbly in places. So it's part of the charm of the instrument, but just tempering the tuning once you've done it will really help. I strongly recommend doing that. So some basic chords: C, F, G, which is the same shape as a D on a guitar. So with those, you can play the blues. I keep my finger on that if I'm playing the F. Okay, so already you've got 3 chords you can use. Probably have a little riff around the blues. So C, F, G, those are the first 3 I would learn, and then D, those 3. I put my finger down on the 5th fret of the 1st string as well, because then I can do these little rundowns, and it just gives me more flexibility. Those are things you don't see on chord books. Do like scale just by barring a note, and then A, F, so kind of similar to F, but A, G, G7th, kind of like a D7th chord on a guitar, and then E, you take that D and just shift it up 2 frets. So I'm using my this is a bit of a no-no on a guitar, but I'm doing it on the ukulele because you've got a very short space to work with, and I've got slightly bigger fingers. You want to kind of, as long as it's a clear, produced sound, and you don't have, you want to avoid the fret buzz. Just make every note clear as a bell. Don't hover over the fret line. So just really kind of, because you've got a smaller fret than a guitar. So anytime you make a note, just try and make it sound as good as possible. So instead of, make sure every you're getting right just behind the fret line, not right in the middle, but just slightly behind the fret line. And just try to avoid some buzz if you can, and add some vibrato. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a few little tips if you're buying ukulele and wanting to learn, but we're thinking of sort of holding off. Well, the last thing to do is don't buy the ukuleles that are really, really small, that kind of finish at the 12th fret. Try and get a longer scale instrument, a bit like this. I think it's called a concert ukulele. It will help your intonation, it'll help the instrument will sound better. So that would be my final tip. Okay, if any of this has been useful to you whatsoever, please let me know in the comments, and I'll do some more ukulele videos later on, showing how to play some basic tunes. Alright, take care.